Running amok, sometimes referred to as simply amok or gone amok, also spelled amok from the Malay language, is an episode of sudden mass assault against people or objects, usually by a single individual following a period of brooding that has traditionally been regarded as occurring especially in Malay culture but is now increasingly viewed as psychopathological behavior occurring worldwide in numerous countries and cultures. The syndrome of Amok is found in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. The phrase is often used in a less serious manner when describing something that is wildly out of control or causing a frenzy. Malay-Indonesian origin. Amok originated from the Malay-Indonesian word mengamuk, which when roughly defined means to make a furious and desperate charge. According to Malay-Indonesian culture, amok was rooted in a deep spiritual belief. They believed that amok was caused by the hantu belian, which was an evil tiger spirit that entered one's body and caused the heinous act. As a result of the belief, those in Indonesian culture tolerated amok and dealt with the after effects with no ill will towards the assailant. Although commonly used in a colloquial and less violent sense, the phrase is particularly associated with a specific sociopathic culture band syndrome in Malaysian culture. In a typical case of running amok, an individual, having shown no previous sign of anger or any inclination to violence, will acquire a weapon and in a sudden frenzy, will attempt to kill or seriously injure anyone he encounters and himself. Amok typically takes place in a well-populated or crowded area. Amok episodes of this kind normally end with the attacker being killed by bystanders or committing suicide, eliciting theories that amok may be a form of intentional suicide in cultures where suicide is heavily stigmatized. Those who do not commit suicide and are not killed typically lose consciousness, and upon regaining consciousness, claim amnesia. An early Western description of the practice appears in the journals of Captain James Cook, a British explorer, who encountered amok first-hand in 1770 during a voyage around the world. Cook writes of individuals behaving in a reckless, violent manner, without cause and indiscriminately killing and maiming villages and animals in a frenzied attack. A widely accepted explanation links amok with male honor. Running amok would thus be both a way of escaping the world and re-establishing one's reputation as a man to be feared and respected. Contemporary syndrome. Running amok is used to refer to the behavior of someone who, in the grip of strong emotion, obtains a weapon and begins attacking people indiscriminately, often with multiple fatalities. An episode of amok may be triggered by a period of depression or highly aggressive behavior. The slang terms going postal or going ballistic are similar in scope. Police describe such an event as a killing spree. If the individual is seeking death, an alternate method is often suicide by cop. Amok is often described as a culture band syndrome, which is a psychological condition whose manifestation is strongly shaped by cultural factors. Other reported culture band syndromes are Lata and Koro. Amok is also sometimes considered one of the subcategories of dissociative disorders, officially classified as a psychiatric condition. In 1849, amok was officially classified as a psychiatric condition based on numerous reports and case studies that showed the majority of individuals who committed amok were, in some sense, mentally ill. However, DSM-IV does now break amok down into two official categories, bare amok and amok. Bare amok is considered to be the more common of the two and is associated with the depression and sadness resulting from a loss and the subsequent brooding process. Loss includes, but is not limited to, the death of a spouse or loved one, divorce, loss of a job, money, power, etc. Amok is associated with mental issues of severe depression or other mood disorders. Amok, the rarer form, is believed to stem from rage, insult, or vendetta against a person, society, or object for a wide variety of reasons. Amok has been more closely associated with psychosis, personality disorders, bipolar disorder, and delusions. Historical and cross-cultural comparisons. Early travelers in Asia sometimes describe a kind of military amok, in which soldiers apparently facing inevitable defeat suddenly burst into a frenzy of violence which so startled their enemies that it either delivered victory or at least ensured what the soldier in that culture considered an honorable death. An example would be during the Battle of Bukit Chandu in Singapore during World War II, when 41 outnumbered soldiers of the Malay regiment, led by Adnan Saidi, charged and went all out against a 13,000-strong invading Japanese army. They continued the fight armed with just knives and bayonets for 3 days before they were finally defeated. This form of amok appears to resemble the Germanic Berserker, the Kafadakathad, Maldapelia, Iicha, Laos, and Papua New Guinea. In contemporary Indonesia, the term amok generally refers not to individual violence but to frenzied violence by mobs. Indonesians now commonly use the term jelap mata to refer to individual amok. Lawrence van der Post experienced the phenomenon in the East Indies and wrote in 1955, "Jelap mata, the dark eye, is an expression used in Sumatra and Java to describe a curious and disturbing social phenomenon. Socially speaking, the Malays, Sumatrans and Javanese are the best-behaved people I have ever encountered. On the surface they are an extremely gentle, refined, submissive people. In fact, the word Malay comes from Malu, gentle, and gentleness is a quality prized above all others among the Malays and the neighbors. In the family life, in the submission to traditional and parental authority, in their communal duties, they are among the most obedient people on earth. But every now and then something very disturbing happens. A man who has behaved in this obliging manner all his life and who has always done his duty by the outside world to perfection, suddenly finds it impossible to keep doing so. Overnight he revolts against goodness and dutifulness. In the Philippines, amok also means unreasoning murderous rage by an individual. In 1876, the Spanish Governor-General of the Philippines José Malcampo coined the term juramentado for the behavior, surviving into modern Filipino languages as juramentado. It has historically been linked with the Moro people of Mindanao, particularly in the island of Jolo in connection with societal and cultural pressures. Norse berserkers and a Zulu battle trance are two other examples of the tendency of certain groups to work themselves up into a killing frenzy. The 1911 Webster Encyclopedia comments, "In 1634, the eldest son of the Raja of Jodhpur ran amok at the court of Shah Jahan, failing in his attack on the emperor, but killing 5 of his officials." During the 18th century, again, at Hyderabad, 2 envoys, sent by the Jodhpur chief in regard to a quarrel between the two states, stabbed the prince and 26 of his suite before they themselves fell.